guys, it's Steph. Welcome back to the Cantina. Please remember to tip those Wookiee bartenders 20%. No droids, bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies. We are here for the love of Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, and good stuff. So anyway, and I know that it's very difficult to get notices out when I go live. So you come in, just let me know that you just got in, and I will make sure that I give you a recap. So Dana Walden basically is now in Peter Rice's place. He was fired. Howdy, just some other guy. Fired brutally, okay? And yet several people are not understanding A, how big that was. They're not. And B, where this all could go. I saw a couple of people piling on Freeform TV for advertising a drag queen lunch for kids or something that Freeform TV put out there. And of course, the usual suspects were piling on Disney. And it's like, look, it's not just going to happen like that. And what I find interesting is I think the people that were complaining are the ones that know that. But the person who attacked Freeform first, no idea how it works in the corporate world. No idea how this goes down. This is not Joe's gas station, okay? You're not going to see people get fired every day like Peter Rice was fired. It doesn't make any sense to me. I was telling Mike today that I'll never understand why incompetence is awarded. And we were talking about Kennedy and how we were talking about Kennedy, and I said, look, she was the one that okayed a draft script for TLJ. Carrie Hart gave it to her. Carrie Hart was a token diversity hire, and she was. And she was the one that liked the script. The first script that Ryan Johnson submitted, I would have shoved it down Carrie Hart's throat. It was me. Kennedy okayed it. The movie would, I'm going to say, The Last Jedi might have made $1 billion, but it was an utter fucking financial failure because it should have made 1.5 more billion than it did. Okay. And Carrie Hart was one of the people responsible for Solo. Here's the deal. I want you to sit back and go, okay, now I get it. It is not that it was just all Carrie Hart's fault. She was hired in a position she never should have had. Okay? She was the scapegoat when Kennedy realized all of her delusional dreams had crashed and burned. Okay? And when Iger was saying, what the fuck? Okay? And, all his delusional dreams went crashing and burning too. Okay? Word on the street was he was shocked by how much the fans hated The Last Jedi. Well, the only reason why TFA made any money is because Chewie, we're home, and that's it. Okay? People went to go see it, and we're like, what the fuck did I just see? Again, I'll say this, I've said this many, many times, but if you walk out of a Star Wars movie in shock and horror, feeling bad about the world, you saw a shitty Star Wars movie. All right? You walk out of TLJ and your hands are like clenched and teeth gritted in rage, you left a shitty Star Wars movie. Rise of Skywalker, I didn't care because I didn't see it. I scrolled through it on the high seas and was like, oh my God. Hey, Matt Piranha. So Kennedy fucked up. Okay, now, 2018, it should have been her walking into Iger's office and being told, get your shit and leave. It should have. The incompetence that woman has displayed, hey Jay, is staggering in my opinion. Okay? But Peter Rice, who's actually a much bigger fish, okay, gets canned. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Go back and watch Celebration again when she's on the stage. Go watch her behavior. If you don't see a woman who's probably out already, and I'm gonna say it again, I don't care what anybody says. I think Jon Favreau is gonna be the new head of Lucasfilm. All right. Now, some of the powers that are the usual suspects may be upset about that. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. But he's got to find writers that love Star Wars. Not that I'm going to say anything nasty about Javi Harold or Andrew Sutton, who actually did a fine job with the last episode of Kenobi, and he's got the finale to write. That's coming up. He's the writer. So we've got, I think, some really good stuff in store for us on Wednesday morning. Of course, the usual suspects will cry, bitch, and nitpick. That flashback, they didn't de-age Hayden. Hey, Cross Element. That's because it really wasn't a flashback, you dipshit. Look, when you watch the first part, the flashback thing, Anakin is staring at Padme's apartment in the Jedi Temple, okay? When that part is over and you look at Vader, that's what's going on in his head at the moment. He's looking out in space, thinking either about Padme and about Anakin or about Obi-Wan, and trying to prove that he is now the better man. Okay, that's what this is about. That wasn't a flashback. That was the continuing lesson that he never learned and didn't want to learn. Okay, go back and watch Attack of the Clones, and you'll notice that he's not missing his hand. So it's before the Clone Wars, okay? So he appears in his young apprentice form, but he's older, okay? Has viewing shows and stuff where you have to think, has that talent or discipline fallen off so much that people need it force-fed to them? And then they bitch and moan that I don't get it. I fucking don't get people anymore. I've had it up to your high, Kojak. So anyway, and Dana Walden, all right, now she's the head of everything else at Disney underneath Chapek. She's got a job to do. Now, this Freeform TV thing, all right, let me find it. Freeform TV, take your child to drag brunch this weekend. A drag brunch is a type of drag show in which drag kings and drag queens perform for an audience while the audience feasts on typical brunch foods and drinks. Although this is typically held at LGBTQ bars and nightclubs, restaurants have also become a popular site for drag brunches. All right, not cool. They don't understand, I think, where they stand here with the powers that be at Disney. All right. There's nobody to protect them. Even Dana Walden is not. Okay. But the idea of piling on a tweet by a guy who could have Jesus Christ himself tell him, Kennedy's out, they're fixing everything, relax and be patient. Okay. Oh, and stop putting your trust in actors and actresses. They're not your friends. Okay. Now you know who I'm talking about. Um, you know, the look, a lot of the fans have mouths of alligators and the brains of hummingbirds. Okay? They really, really do. And a few of them have big channels. They pile on this because it's clickbait. And they're clever enough to know that, oh, I can make money on this. Fine. 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 Awesome. Great. Love it. You know, it's, to me, in my opinion, it's getting tedious. They don't see the big picture. The big picture is it's only been 2 weeks since Rice was kicked to the curb. Brutally kicked to the curb. Let me remind you guys that. It is going to take a little while for Disney to root out the bullshit. Shit like this. And to, you know, and because it's my birthday month, not Pride month. And oh, by the way, Pride is the first deadly sin. All other deadly sins come from it. Okay? So, bullshit on that. Yeah, just some other guy, you're right. You're right. And it's going to, you know, they've been told by people this is not going to end well. Okay? First off, again, take a big picture. Look at the big picture. Rice gets fired. It could have been Kevin Feige. It could have been Kennedy 3 years ago. Okay? In 2018. It could have been the head of Pixar after John Lasseter. Okay? Could have been anybody. Okay? It was a bigger fish. First off, that fish wanted to be the CEO. Second of all, that bigger fish was undermining Bob Chapek's authority. Okay? Thirdly, firing him sent a message to the other 3 hoodlums that they're next. Now, I got some Kennedy interesting news. So, put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember that I told you I thought Ford took over production of what did you say? All right. Well, the context is that was a tweet from Freeform TV. No, I tell you, you guys all remember when I said Ford basically took over producing Indy 5? I was right. This is how it went down, and I'm not going to tell you where I heard this, but the source, let's just put it this way. The source makes any of Doomcock's sources look like Amber Heard, okay? I'm not fucking kidding. Well, first off, when Phoebe Waller-Bridge's ascension to the fedora was addressed, the reply was, Harry is very protective of Indiana Jones, and there was no fucking way he was going to let that happen. And how does that idea get kicked to the curb? By removing Kennedy. She wasn't on the set at all after the first week. In fact, she didn't even go when they wrapped, I don't believe. So, there you go. I'm not sure if this happened, but it makes more sense in looking back on it that I believe that Ford slow-rolled the injury, and he was the one behind Daily Mail putting those rumors out. She's just weird, dude. She has no sense of fashion. I'll talk about Lightyear in a minute. Um, then I heard that a certain person, I can't say that. I can't tell it. I can't say it because then you guys will figure it out. So let's put it this way. I had a lot of shit confirmed. Theories of mine confirmed. Okay? I mean, let's put it this way. Kathleen Kennedy is a very deluded woman if she thought she was more powerful than Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford doesn't look. Here's the thing about power. You ever watch The Godfather? Powerful people never talk about power. Okay? They never talk about it. Okay? Ever. So, Lightyear, $5.6 million preview. And I looked at the theaters around here. It's not being shown on many screens. It's dead, okay? And it's dead because people are like, they don't want it. Now, what does this mean for the future of the head of Pixar, whoever that is? Maybe someone can find out and put it in the chat. He's probably getting canned. Yeah, and you're right, just some other guy. I mean, that's what Vito Corleone basically told Michael to do until he was ready to strike. And I mean, that's what Bob Chapek did. So I think that we're going to see massive changes coming to Pixar. They're going to end up realizing that they don't need these Wokistanians ruining, which is a very, very highly respected studio, and they are. You know, so anyway, I'll go live again. I gotta go, but you guys have a good afternoon, and I will see you guys around the galaxy. Just behave, be safe, and I'll come back later tonight. Okay.